This fight reveals one of Fractured But Whole's biggest flaws. That's right, this fight here, the kid you fight at the start of the game. Even though this is one of the easiest fights, there are ways you can cheese it hard by messing with this kid's AI, and these tricks can be extended to even some of the hardest fights in the game. Let's take a look at how this fight is done in the speedrun, which very heavily exploits this flaw. In a casual playthrough, you'd probably just stand next to Bartles and attack every turn while eating all of his hits, which of course is no issue, because even on Diabolic mode, which is the highest difficulty in the game, you'd have more than enough health to survive. You would think that this was the end of the story, but when it comes to speedrunning, we want to cut out as many animations as possible, because every second an enemy spends attacking is a second wasted. So what can we do to make this fight faster? To answer that question, let's first take a look at Bartles himself. Bartles only has one space of movement, and he can only attack one space horizontally, so he has extremely limited range. If he isn't within one space of the new kid's left or right side by the start of his turn, then he won't be able to attack. With the Netherborn class, which is the most broken class in the DLC speedruns, runners can have the new kid move just below Bartles every turn and use Dire Shroud to deal damage and keep Bartles from attacking, making this fight even more of a joke than it already is. You might be thinking that this is just because the Netherborn class is so overpowered, which it is, but this is actually possible to do with every single class available at this point. Speedster is the only one that takes more thought to it due to its skill set, but even Speedster can avoid taking any damage by using Double Edge to move across the map in advantageous ways. Okay, so Bartles can be cheesed, so what? This fight can be cheesed so hard because Bartles only has one space of movement and can only attack horizontally one space. Surely that's a strict condition that you won't find often, right? Haha, yeah, about that. The overwhelming majority of enemies in the game can only attack horizontally, they can't attack vertically, and even the ones who have vertical attacks often require multiple enemies to stand together in order to even use those moves. Okay, but the enemy also needs only one space of movement. It won't mean anything if they have two spaces of movement, right? Well hey, guess what? That's what slow is for. Attacks like Captain Diabetes Insulin Shock will reduce enemy movement by one space, and it lasts for 3 whole turns. So any enemies with 2 spaces of movement can be heavily neutered for a whole fight. This makes it extremely easy to cheese fights in a game by just standing out of an enemy's range. I even took advantage of this quirk a lot during my Diabolic No New Kid challenge, getting me through some of the toughest fights in the game with ease. And it doesn't end there, because even enemies with 3 spaces of movement can be cheesed hard by just standing a certain way, but that's a topic for another video. While I do love that this is possible because it adds so much more depth to this game from a speedrun routing perspective, as there's so many ways to save time by just keeping an enemy from attacking, it does make it too easy to trivialize the combat with just a tiny bit of game knowledge, even on Diabolic mode.